HTML, Hypertext Markup Language. It's used to define the structure of a web page and its content. For example, content can have the structure of paragraphs, a list, represented using images, or as tables. HTML is made up of elements, which are represented by tags. Tags are used to wrap content or parts of it to make it appear or act a certain way. Tags are enclosed in angle brackets. This is the opening tag that consists of the name of the element. In this case, P, that stands for a paragraph. And this is the closing tag, which is same as the opening tag except that it consists of a forward slash before the element name. This states where the content ends. Failing to add a closing tag can result in strange results. So when we talk about a HTML element, it comprises the opening tag, the closing tag, and the content. Most elements have an opening tag and a closing tag. But there are few elements that are self-closing, meaning they don't need a closing tag as they don't wrap any content. Like the image tag. Elements can also have attributes. Like in this case, the attribute name is class and the attribute value is paragraph. Attributes contain extra information of an element. Like in this case, the class attributes allows you to target an element and apply CSS styling to it. Elements can also be nested, which means you can put elements inside other elements. For example, if we want to emphasize the word best, we can enclose best in a strong element tag to make it bold. Keep in mind, the elements need to open and close correctly. If they overlap, then they may result in unexpected results. So make sure they are nested correctly. Now that we have an understanding of what an HTML element is, let's take a look at the basic structure of an HTML document. Every HTML document starts with a doc type. Its sole purpose is to tell the browser that it's an HTML document and it should render as per the specifications. In the early days, they were meant to link to a set of rules the HTML page should follow to be rendered correctly. Like during HTML4, the doc type would look something like this. And for XHTML page, it would look something like this. However, these days, we don't have to worry about any of that and simply use the doc type like this. Next, the HTML element. The HTML element wraps the entire web page and is known as the root element. Next, we have the head element. This is a container for various other elements like the title tag, the meta tags, links to external CSS to style the content, and links to external JavaScript files to add interactivity to the page and much more, but are not visible to the end user. Next, we have the title element that is used to set the title of your page. This title appears as the title in the browser tab. Then we have the meta element that sets metadata at the document level. Like here, we are using UTF-8 as the character set the document should use to render the textual content on the page. This includes most characters from the vast majority of languages. Then there's the body element that contains all the content that the end user will see when they visit the page. Whether that's the text, images, videos, audio tracks, or whatever else. Let's look at some common HTML elements. The heading elements are used mainly for headings and subheadings of your content, similar to a book that has the main title and a subtitle. Heading tags range from H1 to H6, which is the largest to smallest. Next one is the paragraph element that is used for containing paragraphs of text. Next we have lists, and they are mainly of two types: unordered lists and ordered lists. Unordered lists are used when the order of the items doesn't matter. They are wrapped in a UL element. The li tag is used to wrap each item in the list. Similarly, ordered lists are used when the order of the items is important. they are wrapped in an OL element. Next one is the image tag. And as the name suggests, it's used to embed images in your HTML page. Then we have the table element, which is used for representing any content in a tabular format. Next are links. They are the reason why the web is called the World Wide Web. Similar to a spider's web, various web pages or websites are linked to each other on the internet. We use an anchor element, that is, we wrap a piece of text with an A tag to make it work as a link. Now we add the href attribute, where you want the link element to navigate to a web address when clicked. In this case, we will navigate to google.com when the link is clicked. Then we have the div element, which stands for content division, which doesn't have any effect on the content or its layout until it has been styled using CSS. It's mainly used to construct complex layouts. Next we have the form element. These can be used to take inputs from the users, like this login page, where the user can enter username and password and hit the login to sign into a website. Let's take a look at some of the form input elements. This is an input element of type text, which is used to create single line text fields. Then we have an input element of type email that is used for email addresses. Then we have an input element of type password that helps entering a password securely by masking it. Next is the text area, which is mainly used for multi-line free-form text inputs like a comment or a review or an address. Then we have the checkboxes that allows the user to select multiple options at once. Whereas the radio input allows the user to select only one option at a time. We also have an input element of type color that allows the user to select a hexadecimal color value by opening a color picker component. Then we have the element of type date that lets the user enter a date. It opens up a date picker component that includes year, month, and date selection. Now let's talk about semantic HTML elements. HTML5 introduced semantic elements that provide more meaning to the content. Examples: the header tag, which defines a header for a document or section. Nav, that defines a container for navigation links. Section, that defines a section in a document. Article, which defines an independent or self-contained content. Footer, that defines footer for a document or a section. Let's look at an example. Here we have a parent div with a class dog_breeds. Then we have another div with a class header to present it as the header of the content. Then we have two child divs, one for each dog breed, with a description. This HTML structure is not wrong and can be styled in any way we want using CSS. But the issue with this is that it lacks meaning. Now let's see how this can be converted into semantic HTML to add more meaning to the content. As you can see here, we replaced the parent div tag with the class dog_breeds with an article tag to define it as an independent or a self-contained content. Next, we replace the div tag with the class headers with an h1 tag to represent that it's an heading for that content. Next, we replace the child div elements with section tags to define different sections. Now, we replace the div tag with the class title with an h3 tag to define a subheader. These semantic tags add more meaning to the content and it makes it more readable rather than reading endless number of div tags in your HTML document. Let's look at some of the benefits of semantic HTML. The main benefit of semantic markup is that it helps search engines to influence the page's search ranking. It also makes the markup and its content more meaningful, and more importantly, it helps improve the accessibility of the page for the visually impaired. Here are some resources for your further learning and learn more about HTML. That's it, folks. This was an HTML overview. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, hit the like button, and share it with someone who can benefit from it. Let me know in the comments below what videos you would like to see, and until then, see you in the next one. Peace.